Boxing, my man Eddie Hearn. We've been everywhere, man. We've been LA, we've been Vegas, we've been New York. Now we in my hood, Dallas, Texas.
Yes, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. It's a great facility. Tickets have gone better than we could have ever expected. And you know, the crazy thing about the American market is all you guys buy on fight week. So we're doing like 400 tickets a day. Still, now. Like in England, we'll buy when it's first announced. So you guys must be busy or lazy, you know?
Hey, but they show up though.
No, of course. It's going to be a wild crowd, and it's a great card. Listen, I mean, you know, if you're coming, the tickets are cheap. You know, you're getting unbelievable value for money. You've got 2 world championship fights. You've got world heavyweight champion. You've got Mikey Garcia against Jesse Vargas. You know, it's a stacked night.
So once you stack this card, how does it feel to be doing business with Jerry Jones?
Yeah,
one of the richest men in the world.
Well, you know what? You know when people are so successful because they don't mess around. So we came down here, we got on the phone. A deal was put to us, and literally it was closed within an hour. And that's a sign of someone who runs a successful business, where it's very simple. You know, they love the card, they love the fight. Obviously, they had Mikey Garcia here for the Errol Spence fight. They did loads and loads of tickets. I know that Errol's from Dallas, but Mikey Garcia is a huge draw. And it's great to be working with him, and we'll definitely be back here.
What do you say to those people that say they're looking for Mikey to come back and starch Vargas, and that's why y'all got it matched up? Since Vargas kind of came out the blue, because they've never really been linked together.
No, but I don't see why not. You know, when I signed Jesse Vargas, for me that was a natural fight. You know, and I was talking to Mikey at the same time. You know, you talk about Hispanic fights, Mexican fights, Mikey Garcia against Jesse Vargas is such an obvious fight. You've got a 4-weight world champion against a 2-weight world champion. You've got a guy who's won world championships up to 140, wants to win a world championship at 147. Jesse Vargas, a world champion at 147. You know, both Mexican heritage. I mean, it's going to be an absolute war. It's got Barrera Morales written all over it again. I really think you're going to get that kind of fight.
So you basically don't think it's going to be no technical boxing, it's going to be a street fight?
Well, it won't be a street. I mean, listen, they're so skilled, aren't they? I mean, both of them, tremendously skilled. So there's going to be a lot of skill, but there's going to be a lot of heart. And I've never seen Jesse so motivated for a fight like I'm seeing him here. So I think it's just going to be a brilliant fight.
Yeah, you think we'll see the same Mikey? Because we don't know how he's going to come. This will be the first comeback.
Who knows? Listen, maybe 147 is just not for him. You know how many people have been calling me recently and texting me saying, I think Jesse Vargas is going to win this fight. You know, because I started thinking about the Errol Spence fight. I started thinking, does he even belong? And you know, Jesse Vargas is going to be a big guy in the ring. He's going to be 160 pounds in that ring on Saturday night. Mikey will probably be 150, if that. You know, so he's not. There's one thing's for sure: Mikey is not a natural welterweight. But you know, I think it's going to tell us a lot about where Mikey Garcia's career is going to go on Saturday night.
Do you expect this thing to go the distance?
No, I don't. No, I don't, because I think they'll both be too active. And they'll both be throwing a lot of punches, and I think Mikey punches hard. And we know he probably doesn't punch as hard at welterweight as he did down at lightweight, super featherweight. But both guys are going to engage, both guys are going to trade. I think it'll go late, but I do think it'll end in by stoppage.
Switching gears on you, what is your take? I know you got asked like 50 times today, so I'm going to ask 51 times. What's your take on Wilder Fury 2? And when that towel came through, what were you saying to the UK? Did you drop an expletive? Like, oh shit.
It was only a matter of time, wasn't it? I mean, it was so one-sided. And I felt that the fight should have been stopped earlier, to be honest with you. Because I don't think Deontay looked like he really wanted to be there. He looked gone. And actually, he's lucky, in my opinion, that he never got hit properly in that fight. Like, Fury was brilliant, but he never really, and he was out, Wilder. But Fury never really connected properly. And I thought Mark Breland done a great job, you know, stopping the fight. I thought Tyson Fury was fantastic, and I thought Deontay Wilder was very, very poor.
Would it be safe to say that Deontay's at a crossroads in his career, just like Anthony Joshua was last summer?
But the problem is the excuses. Like, that's going to stain his career forever, worse than the defeat. Because, you know, David Haye complained about a bad toe against Vladimir Klitschko 9 years ago. People are still stopping him in the street, asking him how his toe is. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think it's a situation where you can't make excuses. AJ could have given you a dozen when he lost to Andy Ruiz. Chose not to. Chose to go away, work hard, and come back. And listen, I hope Deontay does come back. But I don't believe he can beat Tyson Fury. So you can do it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Don't really know.
You think you're making adjustments like getting a new team?
No, it's good. Yeah, but you can make adjustments with a team. You've got to make adjustments in a ring. You've got to be good enough to make adjustments in a ring. Like AJ did against Ruiz in the second fight. He made the adjustments to win the fight. I'm not sure Wilder can make those adjustments. And let's be honest, the mystique of Deontay Wilder, the aura, has gone. You know? Wasn't it before? It was like, stand off him, don't go near him.
But when people say that though, he didn't catch him this time. We started not seeing nobody catch him and live to tell about it.
He got walked down and beaten up.
He did get walked down.
And beaten up, right? So imagine Andy Ruiz against Deontay Wilder. He would give him fits. Because he obviously can't handle pressure. But the problem is, he's got so much power, no one wanted to apply the pressure. And when I heard in the camp that Fury was going to be aggressive and walk him down, I was like, that's the worst tactic ever. And it ended up being the best tactic ever. Great tactics by Sugar Hill and Andy Lee. You know, and it was a great performance.
As you know, I cover UFC and boxing. Do you think more people, regardless of the sport, when they're fighting at that level and you got to go for that belt, why don't people take chances like that? Because Fury basically took chances and lived to tell about it. How come people don't take chances, regardless if it's lightweight, heavyweight, welterweight?
I think they do. I just think that it's probably, obviously it's a longer fight. Yeah, so it's 12 3-minute rounds as opposed to shorter rounds with the UFC. Longer period, but shorter number of rounds. So, I don't know, I think sometimes UFC's a bit crash bang wallop, isn't it? But I think there's more poise sometimes in a boxing match.
When we see Fury and Joshua sometime in the UK, I have to ask you that.
It's what we want.
So if Wilder takes the step aside money, are you guaranteeing that happens?
If there's a deal to be done where Wilder takes some step aside money, Pulev takes some step aside money, we can do that fight next. If we don't do it next, I want them to hurry up with a rematch because it has to happen this year. So we don't want that rematch to happen in October or November or something like that. We want our fight to happen in November, December. So ideally, we go into the Fury fight next. We also got Kubrat Pulev, who we're supposed to be fighting. But the good news is Kubrat Pulev is with Bob Arum. So is Tyson Fury. So everything can be worked out.
So if Deontay takes the step aside money, are you guaranteeing
100% we'll do the fight?
So you're guaranteeing Joshua and Fury will happen in 2020 if Wilder takes the step aside money?
Correct. Obviously, unless he wants something that's just like all of the pop. But you know, I don't think if I'm Wilder, I'm waiting, I'm recovering, I'm improving, and I'm coming back in October, November. So let us fight in July.
Say if it's Joshua, y'all fight, and Joshua beats on Fury, would y'all fight Deontay?
Possibly.
But you finally find it. We finally see that fight.
Come back,
because Fury did it, we don't know if Joshua could do what Fury did.
But right now, the conversation of Wilder being the best heavyweight in the world is over. You can't possibly say that Deontay Wilder is the best heavyweight in the world because he just got beat. Just like when Joshua got beat by Andy Ruiz, right then, it's very difficult to say he was the best heavyweight in the world. Now he's come back and avenged the loss, he's in the argument again. So right now, the only people that can contest the #1 spot in the heavyweight division is Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. If Wilder comes back and beats Tyson Fury, he's the man to fight AJ.
Will that fight happen at Wembley?
It should do. It should do. But we also know the offers are going to come in from all over the world. It's the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. It's the undisputed heavyweight world championship.
Is there any crazy way would y'all do two UK people over here in Vegas?
Maybe. I think if you're going to do that, I think Britain. I think it's either Britain or somewhere bizarre.
So you wouldn't consider Vegas a safe zone?
I don't think so. I don't think Vegas is where that fight takes place.
So there's no way it's going to happen in America then?
Who knows? But for me, it's either in England or someone comes along with something that both guys can't turn down.
Would you go back to Saudi Arabia?
Absolutely.
How was it to do business with them?
Amazing. It's probably one of the best experiences I've ever had doing business in boxing. You know, they built a stadium for us, 17,000 people from scratch. So the whole experience was great. Yes, they don't yet have the atmosphere. The hard thing about that fight is, of course, in a common sense perspective, AJ against Fury take place in the UK. Of course it should. But obviously, all the guys, all their teams are going to want to know how much money is in this fight. And the answer is fucking loads.
Is it enough for you and Bob to get along? Because we know y'all kind of have that real life posture.
I spoke to him last night. We're all good. Bob Arum will do anything for $1. So there's plenty of dollars in this. He'll be dancing, singing, smoking some weed, whatever he wants to do.
And two questions before I let you go. What do you want people to know about you? Because you still have this mystique over here. As often as you come over here, people's like, who's this Eddie Hearn guy? I see him popping up on my YouTube channel. I see him popping on my TV. But then he goes back to the UK and goes away for a while, and then he comes back. What do you want people to know about Eddie Hearn?
Just a travelling salesman, that's all. So wherever we got to go, wherever the show is, we're there. And that's me, just working hard, trying to put on great shows.
And give us your wholehearted opinion on the state of boxing today. With you got the craziness this weekend, you got craziness last weekend.
Listen, every time there's a big fight, boxing gets in a better position. So every time there's a big heavyweight fight, like last week, boxing's buzzing. You know, that was great for boxing last week. ESPN, Fox, everyone done a brilliant job. Boxing's right there again, and we hope they'll tune in on Saturday night.